Welcome back to Power On Weekly for the week of June 7th through the 13th. My name is Irving Legend. I am your host. Joining me this week is the one and only
Aly Mayhem.
Aly Mayhem. Just make sure you're a little bit closer.
Aly Mayhem.
You got it. Welcome back, everybody. Apologies for last week. Here I was thinking that everything was just going to start leaking last week and we were going to have nothing to talk about today because everything had been leaked, but almost everything got pretty much under wrap last week.
Yeah.
There was like not really
much happening.
Anything to talk about, which is why we didn't have an episode. And also, again, we're taking it as a break as possible and everything like that. All that fun stuff.
Yeah.
But we do have things to talk about this week because this week is the official start of
E3.
E3 has officially begun. Summer of Games was kicked off with Jeff Keighley and everything earlier in the week, but yesterday and today were officially E3. So Ubisoft went first, like I said. Gearbox then went next. It was a blink and you miss it kind of a thing, and then Xbox had its big showcase today, as well as Square Enix, another blink and you may miss it as well.
I guess just like, should we give like just quick first impression of E3? Because
yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a quick first impression. We're not gonna
of the show itself, or so far?
Okay. Of the show so far, because tomorrow is Nintendo, Bandai Namco, and I think it's also Capcom as well. So we'll see where they are, but as of right now, we will give our first impressions. We will also not talk about every single game in detail because that would be a super long show.
Yeah.
We just want to give our initial impressions on a few things that we liked, but then also break down some of the things we were really excited about. Because there are some things that I'm genuinely really excited about.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Aly, you can go first. What did you think about E3 so far?
Like I said, I mean, my only thing is it's like coming in, I already said, have expectations low. And I think the show has really kind of proved that. Like, yes, there's a lot of stuff to talk about, but I think when it comes to like E3, you're like, all right, what's new? What's exciting? What am I going to be watching out for updates for the next 2 to 3 years? And I feel like that was where it's really been lackluster. And like it's been a lot of like, here are things that we've been working on, things you've expected to be coming, but not a lot of things to really get you hyped up for the next few years. Which again, like we've said, but I think it's still, even saying that, I'm still like a little disappointed because, and that should say a lot since I was already like, all right, let's keep expectations low. Yeah. But the games in here, I'll say graphically, I think this might be one of the best showings in a long time. Like there are like multiple games that I can name that the graphics look amazing in engine, in game. Like I know we'll talk about them, but like I'm not really excited for Avatar, but I thought it looked amazing. Obviously Forza Flight Simulator, and then what's the Bethesda game, the
Starfield.
I didn't realize that was in engine. And when they said that, I'm like, it looks amazing. So I think in that sense, like the things they're showing are very, very impressive. They look like graphically, I think this is some of the best things that we've ever seen. But I still have some like slight just disappointment in not having too much to personally be excited for. But hopefully they'll come out swinging next year with a lot more things as I guess the world kind of picks back up to normal.
Yeah. I agree with you in the sense of it was a little lackluster, especially for some of the developers. I mean, some of the showcases. I want to really like specifically call out like Ubisoft, Gearbox, and Square Enix. It was a little lackluster. A lot of it was things that we already knew about, and like you said, like the thing is, the difference is like E3 is where this, like, you show everything that you're gonna, in the future. It may not even come out until like 2 or 3 years later, but like it's for people to get excited about what the future is to come.
Really quick, because it doesn't even have to be like a full, here's a cinematic. I guess it's just that announcement of this is the project we're working on. It could literally be a screen with some text that's like, here's something we're to look forward to, right? Like it doesn't have to be like crazy, but just we know what's going on.
For sure. So with that being said, let's get into it. Ubisoft, they announced, the only really new thing that they announced was Mario plus Rabbids. Just Dance 22, but I mean, every year there's a Just Dance. Everything else we already knew about. Is that fair to say, Alyssa?
Mm-hmm.
So they renamed Rainbow Six Quarantine to Rainbow Six
Did
Extraction.
we know about the Avatar game? I mean, I didn't know
Oh,
about
actually,
it.
yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like that might have been something that I just didn't know about. But
I mean, in the industry, people knew that I think
there was a game
massive
being
studio
made. Okay.
was creating something in the Avatar, but it also like how many years has it been since Avatar the movie came out 2011 that like
Yeah.
that franchise has kind of been dormant, but at the same time hasn't, because we've known that there's like 6 movies lined up basically.
Yeah.
But it is really I don't know. Yeah, it's
I know you want to go into it. I was just, but like I think that was one of the new things.
yes. No, you
Give them credit.
yeah, you are right. Mario plus Rabbids Spark of Hope and the new Avatar game were really the only thing that was new. Rainbow Six got renamed to Rainbow Six Extraction. We got a Rocksmith Plus, which is basically their new like subscription model for Rocksmith. I know you mentioned it. You were like, "This is a thing?"
Yeah. It's funny because they're like after 10 years of like all this, and I was like, 10 years. This has been around for 10 years.
Yeah.
But like it was a really cool concept. Like, but like they're like 10 years, and I'm like, I've never heard of it. But it seems really cool. It's something I wish had been around when I was younger and had the time and energy to like try to learn like guitar. That would have been really cool.
Yeah, that it came out like during like the obviously the music hype where the rock bands and the garage, Guitar Hero and the World Tour and everything, like every peripheral had a thing. And I think that's also why it was bad, because everyone just thought it was just another one of those.
Yeah, not an actual learning tool.
In reality, it's like it's not. It's a game where you literally learn how to play the guitar.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
How have you been around 10 years?
I don't know, but
what have they been doing for the past 10 years?
Yeah, people are still learning how to play guitar. That's why.
Yeah, that one was really cool though. And if I didn't have a baby on the way and wasn't in my 30s and had time,
you live out your rock star.
That would be cool. Yeah, that would have been really cool. I'm actually really upset that I found out 10 years later.
Rainbow Six is also teased a little bit with their new operator, as well as they announced that they're doing cross play within Google Stadia, Luna, and PC, and then also cross play between Xbox, PlayStation. I think that's it, between consoles. I don't think they're gonna cross play between PC and that, which actually surprises me, because it's like, if you think about it, Luna and Stadia are both at a huge disadvantage if you're going to be cross-played between that and PC. But I think that's just to help out their numbers, right? In order for people to actually find games or find lobbies, because
to not be stuck in a limbo.
Exactly. But I think that it is strange that they didn't tie them together, but they tied them with PC.
Well, there's probably not enough on either subscription.
Maybe.
Or maybe because they're competition technically in a way.
Maybe. Yes. There also is cross progression. I forgot whether that's between everything or just, I think it is between everything. We can't, praise Rainbow Six Siege enough. They've really been doing great. So the more great news of it, the happier I am. So I have nothing bad to say about that. Riders Republic was finally shown. I mean, we've seen something from the trailer that they showed last year, but they actually showed way more in depth as far as like what you can expect. Mm-hmm. It's a massive open world game where you can play with a bunch of your friends. It is done by the developers of Steep, and it looks fun. It's basically just a bunch of like extreme sports. You got jetpacking. I don't know, like that. I don't even know if that's even a real thing, but that you've got mountain biking, you've got snowboarding, you've got parasailing, you've got a bunch of things that you can just do with your friends in lobbies that consist from like one you could just play by yourself to like 64 player lobbies that just look insane. I was really impressed by this game. I love snowboarding games, so seeing that again, snowboarding in this is really cool. I wanted to play Steep, but I'm actually really steep, but I'm really cheap too.
Cheap.
Yeah, so I didn't want to shell out some money, but it eventually did come to Game Pass, and maybe this game will eventually come to Game Pass too. But if enough of my friends get it, I might get it.
The variety is what's impressive, because it's so many times that these games are kind of limited by the fact that it's just a snowboarding game or it's just a bike game. And like, not that that's bad, like it's good to like really focus in on that, but you know, like, gameplay can get a little repetitive. Like this, I think the variety is what's really cool, because it's, if you're into those kinds of games, you'll probably be into multiple of the sports given. And and even if you're not, like, oh cool, I can try, like I'm getting a little bored of this level, let me try something else. Like I think a lot of time I'm one of those people that like, I think like it's better to like focus on one thing, but it looks like they have a good balance in this. Like it looks like they did a good job of giving a lot of variety, but also like it looked fun and it looked good. Like if you're into these kinds of games, this is kind of like that big ultimate package of extreme sports in a video game.
For sure. Coming September 2nd, it looks crazy. It looks wild. I'm all about it for sure. This was one of the short list of games that Ubisoft showed off, and again, these are all games that we already knew about, but I was impressed by this game. There's some DLC coming to Watch Dogs, AC Valhalla. They also showed off Far Cry 6, which the little cinematic thing that they showed in game or whatever it was, it looked wonky.
For which one? Sorry.
For Far Cry 6.
Yeah.
Where it's the whole like they're inside the boat and Diego's in the boat and you know that whole thing, the confrontation they had.
It looked unfinished.
Yeah.
And that's I know we kind of are we pick on graphics a lot, but like for that game in particular, everything that they have released has been so polished and looked beautiful and looked really high quality and good. And even and so coming directly from Ubisoft as well, like it feels like, I'm assuming maybe it was a rendering issue or something, but it looked compared to everything else they've shown, it looked really unpolished. It looked unfinished. And like, yeah, it was just really, really wonky. Like something looked really, really off in the characters and the movement. And that makes me worry, because it's like, oh, is this why it got delayed? Like, is there's still stuff under the hood that needs to be fixed? And I'm just really surprised they showed that video.
Yes, because like it was his character model. It was Giancarlo Esposito's character model that looked weird. It was almost like the eyes were. It was the not to the degree of like Assassin's Creed Unity, but like it just didn't look like it was right. It was a character model.
It gave the same vibes that Assassin's Creed Valhalla did too when they were showing all their stuff. And the issue with that is that's really what it looked like when the game was released. Mm-hmm. So it just makes me a little nervous, because everything has looked so good, but then we see that they're willing to release things unfinished. Like,
yeah, because it not only today we saw another look at Far Cry 6 during the Xbox presentation,
and it looked great,
and it looked really good. I mean, we were like, oh, we've already seen this. Let's go make breakfast or something or whatever. But like looking over like every now and then,
it was night and day.
It looked great. Yeah, I was like, wow. And we made a comment about how different it looked on that presentation as opposed to like their own.
And how weird it is that they're like, they gave Microsoft the really nice video and they kept the really, I don't know. Yeah, something was just off. I really hope it was just maybe a video rendering thing or something on like production side, not the game itself. And it was just like a mistake to release it on Yeah. I don't know. It was weird though. I think just because everything's been so impressive too to this point that it was really noticeable.
For sure. Just Dance 22 was also announced. Again, it's another Just Dance game. Every year comes out with it. Luckily, they didn't show a super long, awkward.
I was ready for the band to come out.
Like a giant, like how crazy, how crazy.
I was ready for a panda in a costume to come. A panda in a costume.
Yep, man in a tricycle doing, juggling, and then Usher comes out. That happened once.
I'm not doubting it.
I feel bad. I forget the artist who was featured on there, but
Todrick.
Todrick. Okay, yeah, he killed it. Like, yeah.
Oh, he's amazing. He's super talented.
Yeah.
I don't follow a lot of his stuff, but the things I've seen, he's very, very talented.
For sure. I was like, yeah, this is like the perfect person to have for this. Like, very. Like it's all just spewing with energy, like
nice little showcase, good performance, done.
Yeah, custom song for Just Dance as well. Yeah, I was all about it. I was like, hell yeah, I'm about to fucking slay. Again, Mario Rabbids was shown off. We don't really. I don't have any.
I'm not into the rabbits
about this.
thing.
I actually don't really like rabbits at all. I think they're just disgusting, and they need to. be eradicated from the world. And we also
Oh,
saw
jeez.
Mythic Quest, the TV show, got a season finale too, teaser as well. And then Werewolf Within, which is based off a video game, but it's not even a video game, but it's just your old classic Among Us werewolf mafia type game.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's what it's the whodunit, but somebody is the imposter
And it's
kind
a
of a
movie
thing.
of
Yes.
that. Got it.
Yeah, it looked fun.
I didn't really pay attention, to
Yeah.
be honest.
And that was basically it. I do want to talk about Rainbow Six Extraction. I mean, we're both Rainbow Six fans. We're both, Rainbow Six Siege universe fans. And this is taking place in the same universe as that Rainbow Six Siege. We played the Outbreak event, which was during Operation Chimera, where they introduced Lion and why am I blanking on her name? Finka. And that was an interesting take on Rainbow Six Siege, and they basically made that into a whole
Its
other
own
video
game.
Yes, it's a 3-player co-op shooter existing in the same siege with the same siege operators. There's progression and crossplay enabled, so you can play on PC with your Xbox counterparts because it's just PvE, so there's no necessarily advantage that you're going to have. You play, you level up, you customize your loadouts, you unlock new gadgets, you unlock new operators. If your operator dies during the mission, you have to then go rescue them with another operator later on. So there is a sort of risk and reward system here. There is a game called GTFO that came out last year in pre-alpha that is very kind of similar to this if you really think about it. You go as a team into an area, you have to work together in order to defeat difficult monsters, get difficult situations, get to an extraction zone and all that stuff. There are, I think, 3 levels of extraction that you can do. You can go further, deeper. The deeper you go, the harder it gets. And you can extract at any time if you want, but there's basically 3 different levels that you can get to. It will be using the same weapons and gadgets that are currently existing in the Rainbow Six Siege universe, but they will also introduce new weapons, new gadgets specifically for this game. Quick impressions, Aly, what did you think about Rainbow Six Extractions? Being a fan of Rainbow Six Siege, does this entice you a little bit? I know that you're not really a PvE person, but still.
Here's my only thing is, for me, the Rainbow Six Siege franchise, I was always under the impression was this very like realistic shooter.
Grounded, yeah.
Very grounded in reality. That was the whole thing with it. Is it's like, oh, you run out of bullets, you have like, you get down, like that was like
One-shot headshots.
the big thing. Yeah, once you're dead, you're out of the game. You're out of the game for that whole round. Like, so that's my only gripe, is that it's just like, it feels like Rainbow Six Siege alternate universe, like fan fiction, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like one of those weird situations where it's like, it doesn't, for me, like I said, I haven't watched in a long time. I haven't like really been into the lore, but like it just feels very like different from what I have always saw the world.
Yeah.
So like to have like these like crazy monsters and stuff. Like the one event seemed like, oh, a fun one-off Halloween-y, like introducing a character thing. Like, so I don't know. That's my only thing. But as like a game itself, it looks fun. I know I love how Rainbow Six plays. Like, it looked fun. It looked interesting. I just have some like gripes with it being almost like it feels like, oh, we're gonna use this franchise because it's popular and we can, versus like this. You get what I'm trying to say.
I get you. Yeah.
Yeah. But it looked fun though. It did look fun. And I'm not a huge PvE, but it looks like something that I would enjoy with my friends.
This also reminds me a little bit of a more like polished version and a more like familiar version of the dinosaur game that we were playing, Second
Yes.
Extinction.
I thought the same thing actually.
Yeah, that game was fun too, but that game is a little janky, and it does not run well on this Xbox, the VCR.
It made me sick.
It's like 5 frames a
I wish
second.
they hadn't even made it an option to release it on that.
Oh man.
I thought the same thing though. It had a similar feel and vibe, and yeah, I think that it'll have more polish than that game, so it'll be, yeah.
It's getting really hard to, and this is going a little off topic, but it's getting really hard to believe that, because there's been a lot of games that have been announced that are also for the Xbox One, But I think when people think about the Xbox One, and they think about the Xbox One X or the S, they don't think about the VCR.
Yeah, they forget that these are still around. And
Yeah,
still being used
and
by
people are
like
still,
me.
people are still using them, and I think that like that it really shows when like these games like they're not optimized at all, and a lot of granted this. One would argue that it's better that they're putting a lot of attention to next gen games or next gen
100%.
consoles. But if you're gonna make it next gen as well, like either stick to that and stick to the exclusivity, or really take the time to optimize for these consoles.
Be realistic about where this game can play.
Yes.
Is more what it comes down to.
Or be honest. Be like for Xbox One X and Xbox Series X, and like if people ask, well, what about the original one or the Xbox One S?
You can try it.
Like it might run, or like downgrade. Like I know that like Resident Evil 8 also came out on this as well, and they downsized the crap out of that game. It doesn't even play in 1080p, but it runs on that. It doesn't look the best. You won't have the same experience,
but it works.
It's not a Cyberpunk. It's not a Second Extinction,
Well, what we've said is it's like you're only as good as your worst. So
Yes.
even if it looks amazing on that, like the thing is, luckily every game that I've played on here that hasn't run good, I haven't paid for. But imagine if I had paid full price for that game at like $60, like I'd be mad. I'd be really upset because it was almost impossible to play.
I think Justin had a really hard time playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla on his original Xbox as well. It crashed a lot. It was really janky, and like that game was little like broken. Not to the extent of like Unity, but it didn't run as great. But yeah, I think just being honest and just trying to,
like I think it's good that if you try to make it work on these old gen consoles. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right where it's just like, but if it's not gonna work, the honesty needs to be there, or like you can't forget that this is a part of that generation and a part of that package deal that you're giving out.
For sure.
It kind of, I feel like this does get overlooked because a lot of people did upgrade, but not everyone.
Yeah, and not anyone can too, and that'll lead me into my next point. As like, because that's basically done with Ubisoft. The Avatar game was also announced as well, and it's done by massive studios that they do the Division franchise. They're also working on the next Star Wars game, and they said that their studio is big enough that they can work on both without having any issues.
Okay.
It is. What does surprise me, it is a first-person open world game, which I thought that was really strange. Usually they're third person, and I feel like this would have definitely been better. I don't know. I can't say. But from the trailer looked like it might have been like a third person because you're playing as the Navi, you're playing as that. I also thought it was going to be, I secretly hoped that it was going to be kind of like an MMO where you pick your factions at the beginning, where you're either the Marines and or you're like the natives and Navis, and you've got like a World of Warcraft kind of a thing going on.
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was it, but no, it's a first-person open world game where you play as the Navi, and your goal is to basically kick out the humans from taking over Pandora. Moving on to Gearbox, it was an awkward show. I'm not gonna lie. This was such a weird show. First of all, Homeworld 3 is a meme now. That was so weird for them to just be like snippets of Homeworld 3 every between everything that they showed.
And not even like snippets that were like long enough to like be interesting. It was literally like a 10-second commercial break.
It was very weird. Please, someone at Gearbox needs to stop Randy Pitchford from just doing whatever the hell he wants, because that was the most awkward thing. I was genuinely excited. I was like, oh man, they're gonna show some Borderlands movie like things, like some behind the scenes and everything. But like from that whole interaction, it felt like nobody even knew that he was gonna do that.
Yeah,
and it kind of came out of left field, and like him and the director Eli Roth and other people, they were kind of talking over each other. It was, people wanted to say, each of them wanted to say something that was then contradicting what the other person was. They were trying to sell it as a way to just be like, we're all on the same page here. We really wanted to make sure that whoever did a Borderlands movie, understood the story, the material, like they felt passionate about it as well. But then here Eli was talking about making just a cool sci-fi movie, and Randy Pitchford's like, yeah, we want to make a really cool Borderlands movie, and we want to make a cool sci-fi movie that just happens to be Borderlands. It was all over the place. Did you also get that impression as well?
Yeah, it was awkward. And then on top of that, it's like you're going in to show movie stuff, but then here they are like blurring out like the Tina actress and like showing photos, but then it's like silhouetted like things. So it was like I was excited when they were going into the movie stuff and they didn't show or give anything.
No.
Like, and then like even like talking with Kevin Hart, it was like they knew his height was a meme, so they're joking about that. And it's like it didn't give any, they didn't show anything to be excited about because they literally didn't show anything.
Yeah, no.
And they also, like it was awkward, and it actually just made it's more worrisome.
Yeah.
Like I was genuinely excited to like even get anything. It was that was not a good way to promo your movie.
It's been a wild roller coaster of a ride with this movie, because the announcement of the casting, especially with Kevin Hart being one of the first ones, has been worrisome. Kate Blanchett was that was good. Jamie Lee Curtis, I was like, yeah. Jack Black is Cap. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm not really but going on. So it's been a roller coaster with casting. When I saw like these silhouette of the set photos and stuff of each of the characters, I was like, okay, maybe this is actually gonna be really cool. And then they showed this, and again, I was trying to be excited for it, but at the end of the day, I'm not really sold.
The other thing is it was just a big like overly long
Filler.
video.
Yeah.
That didn't showcase anything. That was the other thing. It's like they talked about being excited to do the movie and they're halfway through filming, and that's it. They didn't actually show anything. They didn't actually give anything. There's nothing that we learned or saw from that we didn't already know. Like it literally did zero. Like there was nothing. There was no reason for it at that point. If you're not gonna at least maybe show off a character or talk about, like, it was really pointless and awkward, and it just
it was weird.
Why?
I feel like we're talking about this too much because it was just not there. Anyways,
well, I went in excited when they were like, oh, we're gonna talk about the movies. I think worth mentioning. It's also worth mentioning since it's one of the only freaking things that they showed through the whole show.
And I guess that's what it also was a little more frustrating, because it's like it was filler, but at the same time, it wasn't even good enough filler.
It wasn't filler. It was the whole show, basically.
Yeah. The Tiny Tina's Wonderland, which had previously been leaked or kind of rumored to about a week ago, like ironically.
Well, they released a video like 2 days ago instead of waiting for E3. Like,
oh yeah, because they tried to troll the Elden Ring thing. Because
yeah, but it's also at the same time, it's like, if that's pretty much all you have, why did you show that before? Like, they just
that's true.
I don't understand the logic there, unless they had a lot of other things to show, and throwing out one thing as a meme would have been fine.
Yeah.
Which they're a meme company.
Yes.
I get that. But you really just there were no eggs left in that basket. That was it.
Yeah, because the only other thing besides Homeworld 3 obviously is Godfall. Godfall on PlayStation 4, because not enough people bought it on PlayStation 5.
Well, it's because no one can get a PlayStation 5.
Kotaku did an article immediately after literally saying that. And I was just like, yeah, you're right. They're also adding matchmaking as well, because in PlayStation 5, they didn't even have matchmaking at all. So that'll maybe help out that, but it's I don't know. I don't know what Gearbox was doing. The only other thing I want to say about everything else for that day is that we didn't see anything from Beyond Good and Evil 2, Skull and Bones, and nothing Splinter Cell from Ubisoft, which I was genuinely surprised about one of those things, which was Skull and Bones. Like, dude, where the hell is that game? But let's move on to Microsoft and Bethesda. Bethesda Soft? I don't know.
Bethsoft.
Ew.
Beth is soft.
Beth is soft. 30 games were shown. 27 are coming to Game Pass. The only ones that aren't coming to Game Pass are Battlefield 2042, which we previously have seen because of EA. We did see some multiplayer on that, which looked really, really cool. It's multiplayer only, 126 players in a lobby on current, these current generation. Previous generation, only 64. I think DLC is going to be free and everything, but there's 3 different versions you can go purchase. And yeah, Diablo 2 Resurrection is also coming September 23rd. That is another game that we had already known about, but it's not coming to Game Pass. Everything else that we're going to talk about is coming to Game Pass day one. Oh, let me get my little thing. Sorry. All of these games were announced, and all of these games some of these games are available today. Some of these games are available this year, and then some of the newly announced and previously announced games are also coming day one in the future. Aly, what say you about overall Microsoft's?
I mean, 30 games is really impressive. There's no denying that. Available today is all things that already exist. A lot of play this in year one we already knew about.
Yeah, the only thing I see, maybe 2 games that we didn't know about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that are coming this year. And then next year, again.
Just a few. It's not. I guess I'm probably just nitpicking a little. Like that's a great showcase. That's a great thing to talk about. But it just goes into like, okay, but like, I'm like, what are we going to talk about next year? Like, are you, like
next year we'll talk about Hellblade, maybe Forza, Elder Scrolls 6, Fable, Avowed. These are all games that were not mentioned at all this E3 that were previously mentioned.
Yeah.
And then anything new that they might have coming down the pipeline.
I guess that's just like a little more. Again, keep expectations down, but there just wasn't a lot of new things to talk about. Kind of nice to see things finally coming to fruition, but I mean, I think it was a good showing though. There's no denying that.
They started strong by showing one of the most anticipated games, Starfield. Starfield was shown in a trailer that was running in engine. It was not a CGI trailer. It wasn't anything.
Yeah, I thought it was. I didn't realize it wasn't.
A lot of people thought it was. Yeah, coming exclusively to Xbox next year, 11/11/2022.
Called it.
Which we did call. Yes. It seems like they are going to be doing a lot of exclusives, obviously for new franchises. Nothing really. We won't see anything until we take a look at Elder Scrolls 6, if that's going to also be exclusive. But I would assume yes, which is something that we had talked about, that we were like, oh, maybe they'll keep it cross gen, but I think they're kind of done playing games. And everything that is currently cross gen or crossplay, like, or not crossplay, but just on other consoles like Fallout, their existing franchises like that, they will be there. But I don't know, something tells me that like everyone was kind of right, and they're not gonna share the next Elder Scroll, the next Fallout, the next Wolfenstein or whatever it may be.
I would be disappointed because, like I said, I think that goes against everything they've been touting and they've been saying. It'll be untrue to kind of some of the things that they've said in the past.
Especially Papa Phil. Papa Phil is very much anti, the console wars, all this other stuff.
Like I said, your new ones that have no fan base, sure. Like I said, Starfield, okay.
Redfall.
Yeah, but I would be disappointed in Microsoft if they didn't keep the other ones multi-console.
Yeah.
Just as a good faith and a true to their word and true to the ideology that they've been talking.
For sure.
So, but we'll see. But I'm not surprised about the new ones being exclusive. That I did expect.
Yeah. Something I am a little surprised about is Back 4 Blood being on Game Pass. That is a game by Turtle Rock Studios, the people who did the original Left 4 Dead. And it's a PC game, but it's also coming to Xbox. And I'm assuming it would come to other consoles as well. But like it being on Game Pass was genuinely a surprise for me, which I was excited for this game. But now I'm even more excited because it's on Game Pass. You can pre-order the game still, and you can get access to it to the beta in the summer, but it comes out October 12th. We got a little snippets of 12 minutes. Psychonauts finally got a release date. A game that really caught my eye was Somerville, which when we were watching it, it was very reminiscent of Limbo and Inside, which both of the games we really, really loved. And I made a comment about it, and sure enough, it is done by kind of the same studio. It's kind of a subdivision of it. But yeah, I was all for it. I love Limbo. I loved Inside. Both are so really, really cool games.
I see, and I wasn't that interested in while we were watching the trailer, but knowing who it comes from, and I was like, oh, it looks really familiar. Knowing who it comes from immediately opens me up to being ready to play it because, yeah, like those games were amazing. So even if I'm not sold right off the bat, or like I was kind of like, whatever, like their reputation from those two games for me is enough to get me to play it.
Agreed. Fallout 76 is getting some DLC this year and next year. Hades is coming to Game Pass, so I can finally play it. Oh, I was so stoked when I saw that. I'm all about it. August 13th. And here is another big hitter. Halo Infinite was shown. We've got about a 10-minute, featurette on it, showing a little bit of the campaign. They did show the campaign in the video. I mean, the how it looks and everything. I think it looks great. But more importantly for us, Halo multiplayer.
Finally.
It was finally shown in action in 4K. Aly, I am so excited about Halo multiplayer. It's free to play as well, so you don't even need a Game Pass subscription. Halo multiplayer is very close to our hearts. We actually first talked on Halo 4 multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
So I know for us, it's always been really close to our hearts. But even watching this, I was getting a little emotional, a little like, I was like, oh man, like seeing Halo running again, like Halo multiplayer. We haven't played Halo in forever. It really got me emotional, and I'm fanboying a little bit, but I'm genuinely so excited about it. We didn't get a release date. We just got fall.
Autumn. Yep.
Yeah, which is weird that they gave Starfield a release date, but not Halo. But maybe it's because they don't want to commit to a date. I mean, this game was already, pushed back a year. Yeah. What did you think about that showcase, Muffin?
Well, I think people can stop complaining about how it looked.
Yeah.
Like, I think a year has been enough to like really improve it. I mean, yeah, like, and it looks good. It looks really good. It's just a matter of I hope it's fun, because like I said, it's been the issue. It's like I feel bad ragging on 343.
Yeah,
because they haven't done a bad job, but they haven't been fun. Like, I don't know how to explain. I don't know exactly why or what has been missing, and I hope that they figure it out on this one.
Maybe we're just getting too old.
Maybe
keep up with the youngins.
No, I don't know though. It's just something like there was definitely a difference when Bungie left in the multiplayer. So it looks great. It looks fun. I hope it is fun. But there's an introduction of a lot of new things in it, so maybe that'll spice things up, make it not as stale.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to go into that, but my only other concern is there were a lot of cosmetics.
There was a lot of
customization.
And
it's a free to play game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that samurai thing looked freaking cool. And I'm just ready to, all right, how much are people going to have to pay for that? You were so excited to see that armor, and I was so horrified because I'm just like, great, here we go. They're jumping on board with that whole system that I don't like.
That's the new Hayabusa, in my opinion. Like, that's the new Hayabusa armor that everyone's just gonna run. But I do agree with you that I was excited, but then you brought me back down to reality where it's like,
I was like, you're gonna have to pay for that.
And I said, yeah, like I think you're right. There was a lot of customization that it does worry me a little bit. I understand that might be a factor. I hope it's not armor. I hope it's something else. I hope it's like weapon skins or something like that. The Halo has always been, especially the further it got, it was very focused on armor customization, when Halo Reach introduced all its armor customization, that was so cool. It was on a whole different level than like what Halo 3 did. And even Halo 3 was great. You can get shoulder pads, you can get the chest piece and the head, but Reach just took it to another level. So I hope that still stays within the core of Halo and not microtransactions.
It will stay in the core for money.
Yes, but I hope that it's not. I really don't genuinely hope that it's not. And I do hope that it's like, when you get killed, you get the exploding head, or but
I have no faith because it is a free to play. If it was something that was still included, you buy the whole game, then yeah, but being free to play, I think this is Halo's step, and a 10-year project. This is Halo's step into that money making method.
Please,
so
343.
I'm pretty sure it's here.
Going you just mentioned right before going into some of the new mechanics, the grappling hook was very shown off very prominently.
I know, and I feel like no one talked about it.
Yeah,
which is what's weird.
The grappling hook is insane. That's a whole game changer. If that is a part of just your kit and it's not like a power up or like it wasn't
a special weapon
or it was a Spartan ability, like it wasn't like Halo Reach where you can either run jetpack and all those other things. If that's just a normal game, that changes the game a lot because traversal's different, and then also what they were doing was like you can grab a gun, you can just grab it from the ground, or you can grab like a power cell and then chuck it at somebody. Like these are cool things.
You can widow.
Yeah.
Widow and shoot.
Yeah, they did the whole grappling up and sniper headshot, like no scope somebody. I think that's super cool, and I think that's if everybody has it and everyone's on the same playing field, that'll be really, really interesting to see. It reminds me a lot of like the Titanfall like grappling hook too when they introduced that.
I'm a little nervous about it, to be honest.
I can see
because
that too.
It's a completely. But I get that also Halo Reach, everything they added into there was a completely different thing and completely changed the way the games played and felt. Yeah. But it's one of those like I don't really have an opinion until I can actually play it because it's a really like hard call. It looks really cool. I also feel like it's just gonna screw me because I'm already bad at the game. So
yeah, it's a little divisive. I'm so excited for Halo. I just need a release date and I need a beta. Please give me a beta. Okay, let's go down the line a little bit more. Party Animals was also announced. Diablo Resurrection, like I said. A Plague Tale Requiem, a sequel to the original A Plague Tale, which kind of flew under the radar until it hit on Game Pass. And Slime Rancher 2, Sea of Thieves. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Slime Rancher 2.
I'm just excited, that's all.
Yeah.
I love Slime Rancher. I actually bought it on Steam, and I played the hell out of it when it came onto Game Pass. And it is just a cute little charming, quaint game that I had no idea they were working on a second one. So so when I saw that, I was like, wait, what? Like that's probably the only dumb thing I did actually get excited for. And I don't really have anything to add to it. It looks cute. It looks awesome. That game was fun. I'm glad to know it had enough success. I didn't know it was that popular to warrant a second one. So
yeah, I mean, I did,
and it's gonna be on Game Pass.
Yes, you do have to wait a little bit. It's coming in 2022, but I mean, like you said, the fact that they're even making it's kind of
no, and like I said, I'm just like I don't really have anything to say about it other than like I'm excited. That was a nice surprise for me today
for sure. Sea of Thieves plus Pirates of the Caribbean was also a really interesting combination that I was not expecting, and it's coming out.
It kind of made sense when it was actually playing. You're like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, I really love the Pirates of the Caribbean universe. I
love Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow too. Yeah, I'm a big fan as well. So
he's wonky and cartoony enough. Like he's great in the movies, but then he also does translate into something that is as cartoony as Sea of Thieves. So it actually, I don't know. It was like, that actually made sense.
Yeah. Coming June 22nd, it looks like it's just its own expansion, DLC, where you actually get to play a single-player-ish type of game, which this game has always been just multiplayer online. No real story. You just make your own stories, basically. Mm-hmm. Shredders, another snowboarding game, which close to my heart. I love snowboarding games. SSX, love SSX. Atomic Heart, a game that we have seen a lot of, but still have no idea what it's about, but it had a really
when it's coming out.
We also don't know when it's coming out. It's coming to Game Pass though, and it had a really interesting trailer using some like Eurobeat Russian anime sounding.
It was an anime opening in Russian.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Grounded also is getting another update. That game is a work in progress anyways, but they're adding some more stuff to it.
That's so weird to me that it's like we're a work in progress. This isn't an actual released game, but here's basically an expansion or a DLC or an up. It's strange.
Outer Worlds 2 was officially announced. We had already known that Obsidian Games, they originally made the Outer Worlds, and we already knew that they were working on a sequel. Their announcement was really tongue-in-cheek, really funny, really memed themselves, and memed just announcements in general. Very, very, very fun, and that whole franchise is well-deserved to get a sequel. The Ascent is coming July 29th. Age of Empires coming as well to PC. Among Us is getting 15-player lobbies coming to Game Pass. Flight Simulator, I can finally play it on my Series X because my PC can't run it on July 27th. I am so excited to just fly around. And they're also coming out with a expansion or, a tie-in with Maverick, the Top Gun movie that's coming out this summer. So I'm all about that as well.
It was so sad watching you try to play Flight Sim on your PC, and you were so sad.
I was so sad. Redfall is a new game from Arcane Studios, the people who do Dishonored and have also done Prey. They are working on a game that you play with what I'm assuming is 4-player co-op against supernatural vampires. Yes, this is the year of the vampires. Vampire's Bloodline as well or Vampire the Masquerade Bloodshot or something like that. There is a it's a battle royale.
It's like last something.
Well, and then there's also the battle royale as well. There's like 2.
Oh, there's multiples. Okay.
So, but I mean, I was like, oh, that's just the year of the vampire. Yeah.
Twilight's coming back.
It's coming back. We're getting season 3 of What We Do in the Shadows.
Love that show.
Great show. What did you think about Redfall? Did it tickle your fancy?
Yeah,
it was just a CGI trailer, by the way.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
It looked interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested, not sold.
Got it. Cool. That's basically it. I mean, the most important announcement is Xbox Mini Fridge. We're finally getting it this fall. It is coming out. Everybody, we've done it.
Mini fridge for the Power On Weekly office.
Oh, imagine, yeah. Having a cold one right there. I do want to touch on Forza Horizon, though. It is no secret that I love Forza, and Forza Horizon 5 was officially announced, and we talked about it on Power On Weekly, like that there was rumors of this game being set in Mexico, and it was actually a thing, and apparently those rumors are right because it is set in Mexico. I did give a little bit of sass that it wasn't in Japan, but after seeing it today, Mexico looked gorgeous. That whole setting looked really, really great. This really impressed both of us. I think it shows the power of the Series X, and it's funny because Forza Horizon is kind of like, Playgrounds is like the B studio of the Forza series, but this is insane. I mean, Forza Motorsports is coming out maybe next year, and we didn't see it this time at all. But like the graphics on this game are also incredible. I was talking to my brother and my cousin, and my brother was like, dude, I need to get a new console because that thing looks crazy. What did you think about Forza Horizon 5, Alyssa?
I think that this is probably the best showing game I've ever seen, honestly.
Wow.
And like, they talked about the technology that they were doing and everything, about how they use like real video of real clouds and everything. And I mean, there are moments in there where things look so photorealistic. They look so real that, like, I think if you gave someone that trailer on a phone with no context, they would think it was video footage, not a video game rendering these things.
Yeah.
I mean, and like, this is me being so freaking nitpicking, and that's because it looks so good that I feel like this is where the only limitations are. Is there were just some things in the water that didn't look real, and that's the only thing that really gives away that it's not a real place. There were like the raindrops didn't look natural. When they would drive through, the water spilling up looked weird.
Yeah.
And this isn't me being nitpicky to be nitpicky. This is me saying it looks so good that those are the, like, I had to look for these things, and like they were really noticeable just because I was looking for them, because I was looking at the details so much. Like, And I mean, like, occasionally, like, a car close up would look a little like, okay, I like, knowing like it's a game, I can tell that that's not a real car.
Yeah.
But I would say probably 97% of their trailer, like, if you gave me or someone no context, I don't think it would have clicked that that was a video game. Take the audio out, don't give any information. It was, I think it was amazing.
I'm so excited because I didn't think that we were going to even get a Forza Horizon this year, especially because last year they did announce Forza Motorsport. So it's always been turn 10, Playground, turn 10, Playground, Forza, 6, Forza Horizon 3, Forza 7, Forza Horizon 4, and so on. So I am surprised, but I'm also, I love Forza Horizon, so I'm all for it, and I can't wait to play this game this year as well. This comes out November 9th. So between that and Halo, we have a pretty stacked winter, Ellie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for Microsoft and Bethesda. We will very, very quickly talk about Square Enix. We didn't watch the actual presentation. We were doing something between that time. But before we left, we got a little snippet of the Guardians of the Galaxy game, which I was actually genuinely surprised about. I did not know that was in production. Guardians of the Galaxy game where you play as Peter Quill. It's not the movie version of it. It's their own version of it. I think the character models look good, especially if you think back at Marvel's Avengers, how wonky those models looked. I think Gamora looks super cool in this game, and Peter Quill's whatever, and everybody else looks pretty good too. But I think Gamora looks pretty cool. The gameplay is that's where it gets me, right? You're gonna make a Guardians of the Galaxy game where you only play as one of them, and granted, in the game you control other character. You tell them what to do, and like, all right, Drax, do this, do your move. Gamora, do this, and all that stuff. But like, you only play as Quill. Like, I would have rather liked to play as everybody, been able to get more of a diverse, gameplay, because if you're only playing as Quill, and I don't know, I'm getting real nitpicky about like very first impressions, but like, I thought it was very odd that they went into that direction. It's its own standalone game. It's not, it's a single player game set in their own universe, and it looks cool, but I also do have a little reservations for it. Did you have any thoughts on the Guardians of the Galaxy game, Ellie?
Not really.
No. Were you surprised that it was there?
I wasn't that impressed.
Okay.
I don't know. I had no idea it was being made, but I also just like, I don't know. Maybe because I'm like stuck on the movies, like it just felt off. It felt kind of like a parody or a B version of it. It did not tickle my fancy.
I hear ya. Marvel's Avengers also showed some the Wakanda expansion. Well, I genuinely didn't see it because, again, we were out of what's it called. All I know is also we did see the Final Fantasy Origins Stranger of Paradise trailer, which take a shot for every time they say chaos in that trailer. You will be blackout drunk.
I wasn't even paying attention to it because I was doing something while you were watching it, and the amount of times like I just kept hearing chaos, and it was actually aggravating me.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even like paying attention or listening, but I heard how many times they said it.
It's just a hack and slash game. It looks, it's very Final Fantasy-esque. I don't know what, because they were really selling it as like a new project they're trying something new with this. I have no idea what that newness is, because it just looked like a Final Fantasy game. But yeah, that trailer was a little weird. It looked great. I mean, it looked pretty cool. The combat looked cool, but that chaos thing was just really throwing me off. Babylon Falls, though, I had no idea what the hell that game was or even what was happening.
Speaking of not good, that trailer felt like a fan-made trailer of something, or like an amateur put together like a game and a trailer for a game. It was like, look at what I did on what is the old iMovie?
Yeah.
Like it was awkward. It was like there was loud music. The quality of the game didn't look good. And then there was like random voiceovers that like were drowned out by the audio and also just didn't sound good and didn't explain anything.
It was messy. It was just messy.
It literally felt like they put an intern on that trailer.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 1 through 6 remasters are coming, and Life is Strange remasters for the first 2 games, I think is what it is as well, are coming. And that was basically the Square Enix show. Nothing really stood out to me. I didn't really. It sounds terrible. I didn't really care, and I feel like Square Enix has. It sucks because they've done great things. They sit on good franchises, but yeah, it's
Hey, but still better than Gearbox.
that's true. At least they actually showed things. Okay, and last but not least, I need to talk about Elden Ring. Ally gives no, doesn't really care.
It looked nice.
Yeah.
It was interesting. But take it away.
We memed last episode that this game didn't even exist. It's been memed to death as well. But it exists, and we saw a trailer for it, and I watched it. I got emotional as well. I texted Justin and I told him he needed to watch it immediately as well so we can talk about it. And he did, and he called me and we talked for like 10 minutes about it. I am blown away about how just great this game looks. I'm a huge fan of the Souls series, and this is basically an open world Zelda Souls like, basically. You create your own character. You have NPC mounts that you can ride. There's NPCs that will either help you or hurt you. There's 4-player co-op, which that's a little asterisk on that is I want it to be genuine co-op, like where you get together and everything, not summons. Like I get, from software games, it mostly summons, and from you put your little scribe, you put a little, soapstone down, somebody summons you, you go in and help them. But I want to be able to be like, hey Justin, we're playing tonight, join my lobby, we're gonna play. But still, 4-player is actually kind of crazy because it's always just been, I think, well, no, you can play a bunch. Stories done by George R. Martin. It's the biggest game from Software. The music was just chilling. The music has always been insanely good, especially in Dark Souls 3. I love the music in Dark Souls 3, so this trailer really sold it for me. The character designs were incredible. They had a dragon summoning a lightning spear and hitting you with it. Like, what the? And it's coming January 22nd, 2022.
I do have a complaint about that date.
Go ahead.
They should have just done it in February, so it would be 02.
That's
22
1 month.
2022. I know, but I'm just saying. They're like that close to it that it kind of bothers me that they didn't just like go for the. I know you don't want to wait that long. It's just my random complaint as I look at that January, or I'm just like it should have been February.
Should have been February.
Should have been February. Should have been a specialty wedding date.
Okay. No, but that's great because now I don't have to worry about booking a wedding on February 7th. There you go. True. I am beyond excited about Elden Ring. I think this is my game of the show currently, which says a lot because I gushed a lot about Forza Horizon and I gushed a lot about Halo, but dude, Elden Ring is just it looks great. And I hope that I'm not hyping this to the moon because the last time I did this, I got Cyberpunk. So maybe I should rein in my expectations. But it's kind of hard.
Also remember that George R. Martin approved the end of Game of Thrones too. So yeah, like take it down a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe I should take it down. But it's kind of hard when like we've heard nothing about this game and it's coming relatively soon if you think about it. This is a lot sooner than I thought.
I remember. I'm pretty sure last episode we were doing predictions. I said it wasn't even gonna get a date.
Yeah.
I said it. I didn't even think we were gonna get a full trailer.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised it's coming out next year.
Yeah. This was shown with Jeff Keighley's event. I think the Summer of Games event, which I don't know what happened. This is the only thing I could think about during that whole day.
Yeah.
I've watched this trailer a couple times already. We watched the Halo trailer as well a couple times just in preparation of this episode, but I just can't gush it enough about Elden Ring. Now, this is part 1 if you think about it, because we're recording this on Sunday. By the time this episode comes out, you guys should already know what happened for Nintendo, Bandai Namco, and I think that day also Capcom comes out.
We'll be a little late on that one.
Yeah,
Obviously
so
with opinions, but
for sure. But because of that,
more to come.
no, well, do you have any? What do you think tomorrow is gonna happen? Well, like when we listen back to this episode, like were we right? Will the Nintendo Switch come out? Will the Nintendo Switch Pro be announced?
Well,
Yes
we've
or no?
already made these predictions.
No, but just real quick, just because it's like we're right here.
Refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're gonna announce hardware
Okay.
over game.
It's a 40-minute presentation apparently.
Maybe they'll surprise us and they'll announce hardware and games. I'm putting my bucks on the hardware though, for sure.
Yeah. I will say no hardware.
Okay.
Just to play devil's advocate. And I will say Breath of the Wild will be shown and given a release date, and the release date will be next year.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be greedy and want to keep that for themselves.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, only time will sell.
Like
Yeah.
I said,
We'll see.
my logic is I think the hardware was supposed to come out last year, but with COVID and issues with supply, they waited. So now is the time to announce it. Like I think.
Well, I think it's actually flip side because of COVID. Because of like the shortages on chips specifically, like they can't really afford to make new. I mean, the Xbox and PlayStations are not keeping up right now. Like the last thing Nintendo needs to do is also throw their hat in the ring and try to make a new thing. I think once that carries over, maybe next year we'll get that, and that's why I say Breath of the Wild now.
Okay,
But that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
that's just again our predictions. So maybe we're right, maybe we're wrong, but that's it for this week's episode. I think. Thank you everybody for joining us. I hope you guys enjoyed E3, and I hope you guys have a good week, and let us know if we were right or wrong. I don't know about the whole Nintendo thing. Let me know what you guys think about E3 so far, and let me know what you guys are excited for the next two presentations. Until next time, though, we'll see you later. Take care, everybody. Peace out. Bye.
Bye.